Welcome to this blog on how to determine 9 cost elements in the contract negotiation. This blog is primarily for purchase and contract functions but can be used full for any professionals engaged in negotiation in any other function. Overall, this is my 76th presentation considering all YouTube presentations that I made so far. The objective of the negotiation is to have the cost which are minimum to the company. This blog includes introduction of preamble and different type of contracts and 5 illustrations for which the detailed cost estimation have been made for your understanding and listing of the various 9 cost elements such as material cost, labor cost, plant and machinery cost, equipment cost, manufacturing variable cost, tool cost, jigs fixture cost, marketing variable cost, overhead cost and other costs, and the strategies for negotiating the cost elements. As you know, every successful contract begins with a solid foundation of cost estimation and negotiation. Whether you are negotiating for the manufacturing industry, construction industry, or any other industry, understanding the financial nuances can mean the difference between the profit and loss. Overlooking even a single cost element can lead to unexpected overruns, strained relationships, or project delays. This blog dives deep into the 9 essential cost elements that must be accounted for, helping you gain clarity, minimize risk, and negotiate better terms for long term success. In this blog, following 2 questions are answered for each of the 9 cost elements. What are the key components within each cost element, and how do you estimate such each cost element? Type of contracts. 3 types of contracts have been taken up in this blog. One is the bottle materials titled as type 1, category 1. Then small value contracts called as category 2, and high value contracts involving supply, installation, testing, and commissioning titled as category type of contracts, but these usually involve integration with the other ongoing projects at the site. The ordering documents can be purchase order or work order or agreement, etc. 5 illustrations which are there. The references for grain costings, hot forgings, machine components, each one has type 1, and jacuzzi system involving supply, installation, testing as type 2 low value, and lift system for high rise building titled as type 3. I have posted one of my course on the Udemy website where illustrations for the course elements are included as illustrations. For the above illustrations, please refer to the link given below. How do we determine the material cost? The key components for the material cost are raw materials like steel, wood, chemicals, traded items, semi-finished items, finished items, consumables, etc. The material cost estimation involves identifying the raw materials used in the item or the equipment, their quantities and unit prices based on the market rate or suppliers' quotes and negotiations. My Udemy lectures include such illustration for grain castings, where the key components for the materials are pig iron or steel scrap or grain casting scrap, ferroalloys, coke, limestone, sand, binder, and so on and so forth. There is a resource template called S3RT6, Section 3, Resource Template 6, which is included in my course at the Udemy for estimating the material cost and which can be very useful for you for instant use. How do we determine manpower cost? The key components for the manpower cost are skilled and unskilled workers, and they include besides salary, wages, overtime pay, training cost, and welfare costs. Now, this labor cost estimation involved identifying direct manpower cost and indirect manpower cost, both for skilled and unskilled, engaged for motor operations or supply, installation, testing, and commissioning. My lecture includes a computation and illustration for working of the cost for hot forgings, where all these key components are there, included for die makers, sponge makers, metallurgists, quality control inspectors, maintenance people, etc. And there is a resource template called S3RT7, Section 3, Resource Template 7 to demonstrate the working of these. Equipment, plant and machinery equipment costs. The key components here are acquisition cost or leasing of the machinery, maintenance cost, and operational expenses. The plant and machinery cost includes determining the depreciation cost, annual maintenance cost, and allocating these to items materials based on the throughput time and annual production. There is a resource template titled as S3RT41 Section 3 Resource Template 4 Part 1 is included in my course at Udemy for estimating the machine hour rates for lathes turning operations along with the actual computation considering the 8-hour shift, 300 days and 2 shift basis. A similar approach can be pursued for other machinings like milling, boring, grinding, etc. And there are about 64 such manufacturing related operations for which costs can be estimated. Manufacturing variable costs. The key components here are like utility bills, machine wear and tear, and process optimization costs. The manufacturing variable costs they include direct power, fuel consumption, inward freight, marine premium, rejection rates at the receipt stage, work in process stage, client end, etc. And also these may also include quality control costs. Now my Udemy lecture includes illustration for such costs for grind and castings, foundry, where the cost towards power, furnace oil, natural gas, water, compressed air, labor wages, mold maker, core makers, pattern makers, etc. have been included as also percentage rejection of castings. How do we determine the cutting tools? The key components for the cutting tools are purchase cost, sometime rental cost for heavy tools, then wear and tear and replacements. The tool cost estimation based on the tools and jigs cost, tool reshuffling cost, and wear and tear consumption. A resource template called S3RT4 Section 3 Resource Template 4 Part 3 is included in my course at Udemy for estimating the tool cost per unit for the item produced on tool cost basis based on the estimated life and resharpening tools and maintenance costs. Now, this illustration included in my course is for machine parts wherein the cutting tools are based on the process sequence and the throughput time for estimate for machines like lathes, boring machine, grinding machines, etc. How do we determine the jigs and fixture cost? The, the key components for jigs and fixtures are the design, fabrication, and maintenance of the jigs and fixtures, the procurement cost. Jigs and fixture cost estimation is based on the annual consumption, usage frequency, and material durability and replacement of wear and tear parts. My Udemy lecture includes such jigs and fixtures cost estimation for pattern equipment, core boxes, gating, rising system, including boxes, pouring ladles, etc. for the grain and castings. Marketing cost. These include branding, advertising, promotional activities, variable cost, and so forth. So on and so forth. Now, key components are campaign cost, market research, and customer engagement initiatives. Marketing variable cost estimations consider cost based on the direct packing cost, labeling cost, marking cost, as estimated warranty cost, and freight and insurance cost. My Udemy course lecture includes such illustration for marketing variable cost for various kind of illustrations which I have given. How do we determine overhead cost? Key components for the overhead cost are like heating, ventilation, air conditioning cost, running costs, depreciation cost of the buildings, vehicles, office equipment, repair and maintenance, insurance, lease rentals, communication, travel and conveyance, and legal expenses, etc. Overhead cost estimation approach is based on the actual cost estimate from the financial books. My Udemy lecture includes such illustration for 5 illustrations which I have mentioned earlier as a percentage of the cost based on the profile of the vendors and technologies used. How do we determine other costs? Other costs include like cost towards installation, testing and commissioning, and statutory cost and quality control cost. Of course, these also include a second component called vendor or contractor margin as percentage and taxes percentage as per the statutory norms. My Udemy lectures include such illustrations for a lift system and other 4 illustrations. In the lift system, the examples of statutory costs are also indicated. Strategies for negotiation of the cost elements. These include using competitive bidding processes to find the best value, conduct a thorough cost analysis, involve key stakeholders for cost estimation, particularly for the highly technical items, leverage bulk purchasing agreements for economies of scales, exploring outsourcing or subcontracting for non-core activities, offer long-term commitments to suppliers in exchange of better rates, agree on cost-sharing formulas for escalation or for other substitute items, standardization, risk mitigation for rates and payment terms, and ethical buying at the arm's length. As of January 14, 2025, I am thrilled to share that I have published 75 blogs on the YouTube, garnering an impressive 1.1 million views and 19,100 hours of watch time. Further, my promotional videos on YouTube titled 9 Gains to You from my 60 lectures on contract negotiations in any industry has achieved reasonable success with 24,500 views in the last 10 days or so. To gain instant access to my comprehensive course, Contract Negotiations by Arvind Dang, simply revisit the link below on the Udemy and the course to your add the course to your cart and complete the checkout process and start your journey to mastering the contract negotiations today. The course references given here. Thank you very much and happy learning.